Let's draw middle school.
It's time for another Go-Go Mock Rocket Sheep.
Hello and welcome to the middle school edition of Go-Go Mock Rocket Sheep. Middle school, junior high, I'm not sure what you call it, but those grades in between elementary school and high school. Anyway, today we are drawing easy, medium, and hard mode middle school theme. Let's go! Easy mode. Okay, so easy mode, we're going to draw a set of lockers. So it's going to be 3D, but it is going to be easy. So we start with a line kind of like that. There we go. And then we're going to do another line at the top. Turn those into a rectangle. Nice. Then we're going to make it 3D by drawing a little line out like this, a little line out like that, little line out like that. And all of these lines are at the same angle. Then draw that across. Draw that down. Nice. Now, it's kind of like an isometric 3D perspective, but lockers tend to have a little triangle wedge on top of them. So we draw a triangle on this side. Do you see? A little triangle. And then draw the same triangle here. And then we draw it like that. And I think the reason that lockers have this is so that you can't stack anything on top of them. There we go. Nice. Then we have to add our lockers. So we're going to add one line at the top, one line at the bottom, down, down. Nice. Then we're going to divide this into 3. 1. Try to do it evenly. 1, 2, and 3. Not bad. Now on the inside, we're going to do a little rectangle. 1, 2, and 3. Nice. Then of course we put the hinges on one side, which is a little cylinder here, little cylinder there, little cylinder there. Do that 3 times. 3, and then maybe we'll save this one for later because maybe we'll open that locker. Okay, then there's a little square here, a little square here, and we'll do the square here. It's the little thing that looks like that because that's what the lock goes around. So the lock is a circle. I'll zoom in so you can see a little better. A circle, and then there's the combination dial, and then there's I think it's called the bolt. I don't know my lock parts. Locks on there. There we go. Locker. Now lockers have a number plate. So 99, 100. And then they have these little vents so that when your lunch goes rotten, everybody can smell it. I think they have vents at the bottom too. So it's just like a jut down, over and up. Jut down, over and up. I suppose if you want to make them perfect, you would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna have the locker open. So, put the line down, line, like so, and because there are so many lines, it's getting confusing. I'm just gonna quickly erase that. Okay, so then at this part, so we still have those vents. It's the other side though. I'll do the 3-line thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Then just making it 3D a little bit. Good. So the lock we're going to have hanging down, but it's open. So like this, and then like this, like that. And then, so we have these isometric angles that we've done. So the line, we're going to draw a little line that mimics this angle over here, and then comes up. Nice. And then over. And usually, if memory serves, halfway up this locker will be a shelf like this. And then if you're lucky, there's going to be hooks under here for somebody to put their jacket. And I'm living in Saskatchewan, which means that people are going to trade out their winter boots for their shoes. And maybe you got some books up here. And maybe a bag lunch. And then, of course, everybody puts photographs. Or at least they did when I was a kid and people had Polaroid cameras and printed stuff off. They decorate their locker, etc. Okay, and then there's the little thing here that the locker comes through. And there we have it. There's our easy mode locker. We got a little carried away, but that's half the fun of art, is getting a little carried away, isn't it? Now, you will have noticed that this is not perfect perspective. That open door, for example, does not align properly with the isometric perspective that we have already going on. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. If you ink it up and you color it up and you make it look like you put some effort in, I find that people are willing to overlook little, isometric perspective mistakes if it looks completed, if it looks good. So anyways, all of that to say, don't be discouraged if it doesn't turn out exactly the way that you're hoping, because, well, for one thing, you can always fix it, but for another thing, there's always next time. There's my easy mode lockers, colored up, shaded up. I think they look pretty good. Medium mode. Okay, for medium mode, I thought it'd be fun to draw a tray of cafeteria food. So we start off with a tray, which is going to be a skewed rectangle. Like that. But cafeteria trays have roundy corners, so we're going to round those corners off. Then they're a little deep so that the food doesn't fall off. So we got to add a little depth. Roundy corner. Nice. Okay, then the inside lip of the cafeteria. Nice. And then, of course, just to clean things up so that we don't get confused as to what's going on, we can erase those corners. Not bad. Excellent. Then, in my mind, the classic cafeteria lunch has a carton of tiny milk. Maybe it's Choco milk. In the corner, like so. And then you kind of make it look like a little house. So it's like a rectangle that you made 3D, and then you put the top on like that. And then it kind of comes in like that. Let's clean up some of those lines so we can see what's going on. Nice. Then, of course, it's usually 2%. And there's a picture of a cow on there. Moo. Nice. And then you got your nutritional information on the side. A scan bar. Okay. Milk. Love it. Then what else? So here's the thing. I know that these days in schools, people are trying to eat a little healthier than what a typical middle school cafeteria lunch might be when I was a kid. And it's funny because all of the schools that I went to actually were too small to have cafeterias in the school themselves. But I know that a cafeteria is a big part of what makes middle school an exciting jump up from elementary school. Anyway, let's draw an apple. So I would do an apple here. So it kind of looks like a heart, but it bumps at the bottom. 3 bumps. And then at the top of the heart, there's the stem and a little leaf that comes out. Nice. And then, of course, we erase what's behind it a little bit. I'm doing more erasing because I don't usually erase on my layers, and sometimes people get confused as to what's going on. So this is more for the benefit of people that are trying to follow along than it is for me, because my sketch layers are usually a huge mess. Okay, so we got an apple. We got milk. At this point, I suppose we should add a plastic plate. Actually, I guess it'd be paper these days. Paper plate, which is good, better for the environment. So an oval or a circle. It's a circle, but it's an oval because we're looking at it skewed. And then, you know, when I was a kid, I was looking forward to like tater tots and hamburgers. That's probably not good to eat every day. Maybe more of a sandwich. So let's start with a rectangle like this. Rectangle. Okay. But bread is usually roundy on one end. So we'll do a little roundy. Bring that into the rectangle. Bring it down. Roundy. Nice. And then we'll split that bread in half. Like so. We'll put some lettuce hanging out. So I'm just going to do a jaggedy line. Let me zoom in so you can see what's going on. Jaggedy line. Around my sandwich, maybe a tomato coming out like this. Now my sketch layer is looking really messy, so hopefully you can follow along. Tomato, maybe some onions. You're like, what middle schooler wants to eat this delicious sandwich? Maybe some bacon sticking out. That's a good looking sandwich. Also, what middle school cafeteria is going to make a BLT with onion? I don't know. But anyway, then maybe the last thing on there is a bag of chips, which we'll start with a line and make that into a little rectangle. And then the chip bag kind of expands out and then seals to another one like that. Nice. Nutritional information and brand name. Chips. Okay. This is looking a little full. Perfect. Let's put a pudding in this corner. So start with a rectangle. Round it off. And then bring it down like this. Bloop. Bloop. Pudding. Okay. And for good measure, we'll put a spoon resting on top of the pudding. There we go. I feel like that's a combination of what I would consider to be a pretty stereotypical cafeteria lunch and maybe what's more healthy and in school lunches these days. All right, let's think it up. One big advantage to digital art is that you have multiple tools at your disposal. So for example, right now I'm inking my sketch with a digital curve line tool. And what that does is it just means that the curves are, well, perfect. They're exactly sharp, and it really helps when you're doing geometric shapes like a tray or like a milk carton or whatever, to have the lines be exactly perfect. And then when it comes to the sandwich and the spoon and the milk logo and stuff like that, I'm just using a freehand ink tool, so it looks a little more, well, like my style. So it kind of has the advantages of the perfection of using a ruler, but, you know, it still has that nice personal style touch. All right, there's my cafeteria tray lunch. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Looks kind of, I really miss bacon. I want a BLT.
Hard mode.
is my, hard mode using rulers and pencils and markers, little badge, stand up to bullies, it says. And then I thought it'd be fun to show you how I would take that sketch and turn it into a more, more vectorized image. The cool thing with vector art, digital art, is that I can print it this big, or I can print it as big as a whole building, and it's not going to lose any quality.
Extra credit!
For extra credit, take your favorite thing about middle school and turn it into a little badge.
Art you sent in!
Thank you so much to everybody who sent their art in. I love seeing it. Send it to gogomockrocketsheep@gmail.com and I'll get it and I'll put it in next week's video, or you can just tag me in social media. You can find it that way too. Thanks again for drawing. See you next time.